Have you worked more in television or film?
Television, hands down. Yeah.
Why do you think some actors work more in television than film?
I don't know that I have the answer to that. I don't know. It's so challenging. It's a tough business. The whole. There was an interview with Matt Damon, Sam Jones's show, off camera, and he said, the business is designed to keep you out. It's the truth, right? It's very challenging. It's very hard to get in. So if you start working in television, and that's you dance with who brung you. If that's what it is. If it's a mixture of both, dance with who brung you, right? Do them both. It always amazes me where folks, actors, people, whatever, think that like you can choose film and television. Well, I'm only going to do film. I'm only going to do television. I don't do television, right? I don't do commercials, right? That's bananas. You got to keep working. You got to keep developing your skill, working those muscles out, so to speak, metaphorically. And, whatever happens, happens, And I don't know that any actor goes on to saying, oh, we're making a film or we're just doing a TV show. Yeah, I've had those conversations too, but you still got a job to do, and one's not better than the other.
Is there a different energy on a film set versus TV, or no? It's all the same in some sense.
In my experience, yeah, it's the same. Yeah. I've done both. I don't know. I've heard people romanticize it and say, films are different because X, Y, and Z. Maybe, yeah. Maybe you're making a film. You're maybe a little bit. It's a little more precious because you still got to make your day. And you still got to deliver, and you still got X, Y, and Z breathing down your neck. But that thing is going to be around. It's viewed through a different lens, so to speak. But that's really splitting the atom, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, it's really the same animal. If you start looking at, well, this is just a TV show. Just a TV show? Like it's easy to make a TV show and get it on the air?
Well, you said earlier about how commercials were going away and buyouts and different things.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of names doing commercials.
Right.
And so I just find that interesting. Is that because now they want sort of that person to become a face of the brand?
We have a friend who we'll start saying names, but you would recognize him and know him right away. And he's done commercials and doesn't need to, but why wouldn't you, right? The payday great when you've got a name and you're a celebrity and an entity. There's a brand there, and you can do a commercial. Well, we're going to speak in general terms. If I were Mr. Movie Star or Mrs. Movie Star, and cereal brand X comes up and says, hey, we'd love you to be our spokesperson or to do a series of them for us, and here you go, here's $3 million. Why are you going to turn that down, right? Because someone's going to call you a sellout or a worse word, right? I guess back 30, 40 years ago, you could say that, but it was a different time, a different era, and okay, fine. But now, why not? That's as much money as you make for, you go and you shoot a commercial, you take a day and you shoot, or 3 days, a week, and you shoot, 5, 6 spots. Here you go. There's $3 million.
Yeah. I always find the word sellout is bandied around by people that probably haven't worked in a little bit. It's such a baffling term to me. Who wouldn't? It beats the alternative.
I've said this 5 times. I'll say it again. Let's be honest. We're all sellouts.
Sure.
Right? I always say jokingly, we're all a whore for the dollar. We're all whores. What's our price? Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's fine. If you think that's selling out, doing commercials, toothpaste, dog food, hair spray, whatever, okay, fine. But, you don't know what's going on in the other person's life or with the other person's sensibilities or or values or beliefs are or anything. So, you know, and I don't think anybody got in this business just to do a commercial.
Or to only do passion projects that don't pay. I mean, it's
That
great.
goes back into that narrative that you said, or you were speaking about earlier, about how artists are supposed to suffer. Man, everybody suffers in life. Artists don't have they don't have I can't think of the word. They don't own that. Right. Everybody suffers, and you don't have to suffer needlessly, right? You're gonna get no's. That's suffering, constant rejections, right? Doing a bad audition, having being on set and then not doing that great a job, X, Y, and Z, and your part gets whittled down to, 2 words or just a glance over a shoulder or something. Mm. Stuff happens, but you don't have to sit there and just make things. Oh well, I'm doing it more for the speaking to my soul. Well, that's all great. I'm being facetious, but yeah, let it speak to your soul. But don't cut your nose off to spite your face in the process.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, everybody suffers. Wealthy suffer, poor. Everybody has their own, it's just different sets of problems, different pressures.
That's it.
And so.
It's all subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pain is pain, man. If it hurts, if someone's in pain, mm-hmm. who the hell are you to say that it shouldn't hurt or it doesn't hurt that badly?
What's a character you haven't played yet that you'd like to? Not so much the show, but a stereotype of our composite that you would like. I want to do this time. I want to do something that's really challenging in that sense. 'Cause if one gets the same roles over and over again, doesn't mean you can't still be creative within that.
Yeah.
But just something that is totally opposite that you really want to try.
Interesting. I don't know, I was talking about this with a young actor a couple of weeks ago, and he was wrestling with, not wanting to play a gay character. Well, why not? Right? I would do that in a heartbeat, right? Because everyone has this kind of stereotype. I say everyone, but it's not accurate that a gay man is effeminate and speaks with a lisp perhaps, or is always banding his hands around like this or whatever kind of thing they might think. And I just think it would be, like I was telling him, I think, how much more interesting would it be if you played yourself? You just necessarily happen to be gay.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, right? So much more interesting, right? And then you're opening space up for the character to breathe and the audience to come in and look at that a little differently, right?
And then within the gay community, there's very masculine. There's bears, and I mean, we're really getting technical, but I grew up in San Francisco, so But there's and just as with lesbians, there's lipstick lesbians. It doesn't have to be like one type.
See,
trans. Yeah, I mean, the trans community was in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And
yeah. We have a friend who has transitioned. She used to be a man, and she's a champion race car driver.
Oh, wow.
Champion. And transitioned, and I want you to know the hell that she has gone through since that occurred. Oh. Through NASCAR, through sponsors, through fellow drivers, because they just can't wrap their head around that thing that occurred and who the person is. Well, it's like, no, man, this is who this person was the whole time. That is not who the person was, right? And that would be really interesting. That would be really interesting. She has the courage she's a lion heart. I'm telling you, man, the trans people I know in my life are some of the bravest, most courageous, empathetic people I've ever met. You sit down and talk to someone who's gone through transitioning from one gender to another.
Sure.
I mean, my God, what must that experience be like?
And their family's reaction to it, and what do they still, and just what if they're abandoned and just having to.
That happens more often than it doesn't. That happens more often than it doesn't. In our family, my first brother came out, sent a shockwave through the family. And I watched my father start acting differently. And I watched my mother start acting differently. And then, I don't know, it was like a year or 2 years later, the second one came out. And like everything went fakakta with my folks. They just like up was down and left was right and straight ahead was backwards, right? And they came around, to their credit, but it was a bumpy road. It was a real bumpy road. My father grew up in Iran, and in Iran, there's a lot of homophobia, which is weird because when you're in Iran, you'll see men holding hands.
Oh, wow.
When I see my father, I kiss him.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes on the lips, on the cheek for sure, right? Give him a hug every time, right? And I remember watching my American friends and stuff. They just, did you just kiss your dad, man? Yeah, why?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't say another word. And I didn't think about it until years later. Actually, when my brothers came out, that I realized like what was going on. I was like, God, this shit goes so deep. In Iran, it was not uncommon to see soldiers in uniform, on an off day, but still in their uniform. They're holding hands walking down the street, and they're both straight. Both straight. But there's just, that cultural, they're friends. They're brothers, It wasn't necessarily a homosexual thing. In fact, if it were, things would not have gone well for them.
Right.
Right? And that's another conversation. But yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, yeah, I think that would be interesting. Actually, trans would be really interesting. I think I'd make a frightening woman.
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to get rid of the beard.
Have to get rid
know.
of the yeah.
Look, we could.
You think?
With those eyes, yeah, we could play them up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Eyelashes and eyes?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Would you
dress.
date me?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. There's the litmus test. Well, maybe you're not my target market, my avatar.
He's not your Lisa.
He's not my Lisa. You are not my Lisa, and we are not going to have two little girls and a pit bull.
An aggressive pit bull.
An aggressive pit bull.
Summery flowing
And I will
clothing.
not be wearing pastel colors around you.